Hey everyone, it's Mari. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I have a 12 by 12 scrapbooking layout for you, and I'm going to be starting off here showing you kind of the basic premise of the design. I wanted to use this really sweet paper from the It's All Good Dear Lizzy collection. The paper is called Peachy and I really wanted to fussy cut those peaches out and use them on a layout. I wasn't really sure how I was going to do that exactly, but the idea that I had was to run them horizontally across the page. These are the two photos that I'm going to be using of my girl, and I'm going to start off with a base of a little bit of mixed media. So I'm just going to be using some Distress Oxide ink in Stormy Sky. This is the color that I thought best matched up with the tone of blue that's in this paper. So the back side of the paper has that plaid on it, and I wanted to use that paper as a mat for my photos. So I wanted to kind of go across my page with my picket fence blending brush here with this Distress Oxide ink. The really great thing about the oxide ink is you can just blend that on there. You don't have to worry about having any gesso on your paper or anything like that. I'm working on Basil Marshmallow Smooth cardstock. And now you can see that there's all those peaches again that I fussy cut out. And I'm just going to take them and put them over top of where I have this Distress Oxide ink. I do end up using a couple of other colors of ink that I blend onto the paper as well. I use a little bit of peacock feathers because there's a little bit of green in this collection too. And I used a little bit of another green. I think it maybe was the moss color of Distress Oxide ink. And so there you can see that's kind of the idea that I had for creating this sort of horizontal look on the layout. So I'm going to take my photos and I'm going to, these photos, by the way, aren't quite square. They're, I think, about 3.2 or so by 2 inches. So they're a little bit taller than they are wide. And I had to do that just because of the shape of the photo, like where Bailey is in the photo and whatnot, to get her all in there. And so here you can see that I'm just going to take a little bit of paper. This isn't really tissue paper. It's a little bit heavier than tissue paper, and it's super crumpled up. This is just some packaging that I got with something, and I really like this. I'm actually kind of running out of it, so I'm going to try to find some more of that if I can. And it's not, so it's kind of in between vellum and tissue paper, and it's perfect for backing a photo. So I'm going to just use that to be one layer of my photo mat. And then the second layer of the photo mat is going to be that blue plaid color that's on the back of the Peachy Keen paper. I'm just going to eyeball this and cut this just really messily. And I am going to stick those together. I'm actually going to adhere the photos onto this white or this opaque paper with, it's not opaque, it's kind of translucent, with some foam tape. So I'm going to just stick some foam tape on the back of my photo and put that onto that paper. And then I will adhere that onto that blue plaid. And I really like how this works out. I think that blue around that white translucent paper just looks cool. And you'll just see me fussing around with that. I don't know if you guys, when you're scrapbooking, if you watch TV or anything, you know, that you might be viewing while you're scrapbooking. I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale. Tell me in the comments below if you've been watching that. That show is crazy. I'm a huge fan of Margaret Atwood, and you know, I'm Canadian. Not that you have to be Canadian to love Margaret Atwood, but I mean, she is one of our literary gems up here in the Great White North. So definitely have read lots of her stuff. That series is just such a great representation, I think, of her book. And it kind of is freaking me out a little bit. It's kind of one of those shows where I feel like you can't watch too much of it because then you can't quit thinking about it. Anyway, so as I'm scrapping here today, I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale, and it's crazy good. I really am enjoying it. So you can see there I just ripped the bottom portion of that paper. So the sides and the top are clean, just trimmed up cleanly. And then the bottom portion I just tore. And you can't completely see the bottom of that paper, but you can see it a little bit just above the line of peaches there when I put them down. And I think it just adds a little bit more interest to the paper or to the photos in that way. So I'm just going to trim that up and tear the bottom of that other one off and just leave that little bit of trimmed edge. Now I did put the photo of Bailey where so the photo that I'm just trimming up here, she's looking to, when we're looking at the photo, she's looking to our left. And so I wanted to put that photo on the right so that it kind of looks like she's looking at herself in the other picture. And then the other picture, she's really hamming it up. She's kind of leaning back. She's lifting that one foot up. It kind of looks like she's doing some kind of stork stand. So that's how come I put those in that order. Now I did put a little bit of that Distress Oxide down onto my Nouveau mat that I have been crafting on. It's just a really sticky mat that I just have stuck down to my table. You probably can't even see it, but it's really great because it doesn't have a shine to it. It's and it will allow me to put basically anything on it. It's just a really great mat to craft on. Now this is a cut file from Handy Paper, which is in the Etsy shop. And I'm going to use that here for my layout today. I'm also going to use some of this shimmer spritz. If you've never used the shimmer spritz before, I love that stuff. It is so pretty. I use it in card making all the time, and it's really cool to use. And what I'll do here is I'm going to just I've watered down that Distress ink. I'm going to pick it up and just splatter it on the cut file before I back the cut file with some pattern paper. And then I'm also going to take that shimmer spritz and I'm going to spray the Distress Oxide ink that's already on my basil paper on my background. And it's just going to add a really, really pretty sparkle and shine to that area that I'm going to build my layout onto. So I'm going to have some splatters and I'm going to have some sparkle and shine. And then of course the color from the Distress ink. So that's all going to help me create some interest on my layout and build my layout as I go here. So I was thinking about putting those cut files up there. I don't actually do that. I actually change where the photos are as well, but you'll see that in a minute. I am going to back my peaches with that orange flower daisy, kind of daisy paper, and the text paper I'm going to use for the leaves. And there you can see that is how I'm going to position the cut file and then the photos there. So I'm going to use the glue, the liquid adhesive that I've been using lately. I had questions on my last video about this stuff. This is art glitter glue and it's created by the Art Institute or Art Institute. I will try to remember to leave a link in Amazon to this glue. It is great because it dries clear and it is acid free. So this is just a really nice product. I've been trying it out a lot lately and I really love it because you can also purchase the really skinny little nozzle for the top, which makes it really good to get into small areas. It has a little pin that goes in that top and it hasn't clogged on me yet. I won't say that it never will because I don't know that, but at this point it has not clogged on me. So now you can see I also added some of that Stormy Sky Distress ink up to the top left where I'm putting that peach cut file up there. And you can see that I've now backed that cut file with the papers. I just traced around the cut file and then glued the paper to the back of my cut file once I had traced and cut the paper out. And now you can see I've just got a couple little spots here where my different little bits are hanging over the edge. So I'm going to trim that off. And I also put some of those peaches up at the top behind the cut file. The thing I was doing with my hands was I was just showing you the movement of everything on the paper. I just really like how it all just kind of flows. And I wanted to leave the photos kind of over to the left and leave a little room on the right side for my journaling. So now I'm going to take some of these Pink Fresh Studio little puffy alphas. I really love that the blue is perfect for the blue that's in this collection. or in the Dear Lizzy papers. I'm going to spell out Peachy there. I'm just going to put that around the edge of that peach. I think that just looks interesting. And then I actually am going to go into my stash and grab some Heidi Swap phrase stickers. This one says story, so the title is Peachy Story. And then I'm going to do some journaling. So the journaling that I do is just on my computer. I actually ended up using a die in my stash. It's actually a My Favorite Things frame. And I cut a frame out of some of the pattern paper and then put my journaling inside that frame. This little piece of, well, it's a die cut, Keep On Being You. Actually, I'm thinking that's actually a cardstock sticker that I stuck some foam adhesive onto the back. In retrospect, I might have put that up a little bit higher on the layout just because it's the only thing down below, but I don't hate it. And I actually ended up putting some gold splatters on a little bit later, which kind of helped make it all kind of feel like it's cohesive, I guess. Now, there are some little phrase stickers on the cardstock sticker sheet in the It's All Good collection, and I did want to try to work some of those onto the layout. So I'm going to try a few things out. What I settle out for is one little phrase sticker that says enjoy that I'm going to put on the left photo, and then another one that says shine on the right photo. You'll see those coming up here right away. I do not use that one sticker there that I can't even remember what that one said, but I don't end up using that one. I keep trying it and I just didn't really love it, so I ended up changing that up. So you'll see that quickly here. And I think I'm just going to grab those other stickers now. I hope that you can really appreciate the sparkle from that shimmer spritz. I don't know if you can really see it. Maybe you'll be able to see it in the still shots at the end, but the whole layout is just has a beautiful sparkle to it. And how I do that is I've actually put it into, I put whatever I'm going to add the spray to, I put it into a box and spray it in the box because it does actually, it sprays. There's quite an overspray with that little bottle. So I want to make sure that I'm not getting it all over my craft table. So that's how I do that. But it does just really add a beautiful sheen to your project if you like that look, which I do, and I think it just looks really nice. So those are those two little phrase stickers I was talking about. I'm just going to move that one down that's on the left there that says enjoy, just because it's going to be a little bit too high in comparison to where the other one is, the orange one that's on the left of the other picture. So now I'm just going to move that down again. And like I said, that one says enjoy and the other one says shine. So there's the journaling, just talking about, you know, how much we just appreciate this girl and her generosity and her kindness, two of her very, very best qualities for sure. And she had a friend that asked her if she would do some modeling for her friend's store to help her out. And she did that. And that's what these two photos are from. So she, you know, it's not like she was being reimbursed in any way. She just did it as a favor to her friend, which I just thought, you know what, like, good for you. And she's just a good person, right? So I appreciate that about her. And then I just wanted to add that little ephemera piece that looks like a stamp, and it's got the peaches on it again, and I love that piece. I wish I had about 100 of those because I think they're adorable. And I also added that little bee in there, and now I'm just going to take some little gold puffy hearts and add 3 of those in 3 different little areas. And you know what, that's going to be it for my layout today. So I really enjoyed doing this. Some really simple mixed media, something that anybody could do. It's not complicated, but it just adds a little bit of nice detail to your layout. If you want to start with a piece of white cardstock, so easy to do. You don't need a ton of product, and it's just this is a really simple way to add some interest to your layout and customize it so that you can create the color that matches up with what other products it is that you're going to be using. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned for a few still shots here at the end. and I hope to see you again on my channel. Have an amazing day, amazing weekend, and I hope to see you back soon. Bye-bye.